It's the Christmas special of the Open Mic with Ann House podcast. We have a lot of music in the Grayson County. I mean, from Paris all the way over to East Texas to Weatherford. Just this whole area between Dallas and hell, even further up than the Red River is just so full of such good music, so many good musicians, and I am so very honored to be in this room with just, the level of musicality. Musicianship. All right, thank you. Yeah, that works. The level of musicianship just in this room alone is pretty amazing. And the fact that you can go anywhere in this area and find music pretty much any night of the week. Well, maybe not Tuesday, but pretty much any night of the week and hear that same level of musicianship is pretty amazing. So Christmas music, though, is its own special brand of music, right? We all grew up with something different, and it's a very personal thing, what we listened to as kids, and what we grew up with, but it's also a very family thing, and I like to think that this is part of my music family. To hell, it's just part of my family. Now, because I invariably will mess up somebody's name, we're going to start over there, and you will introduce yourself.
All right. My name's Shannon Choate. I play guitar in Aunt Pearl's Biscuits.
And there's the other half of Aunt Pearl's Biscuits right there.
Jay, and I play rhythm guitar, some leads. I'm a singer-songwriter. Been playing for a
See?
while.
Perfect.
I'll learn how to play at some point.
Don't we all say that?
I hope so.
My name is Sawyer Gaiman. I'm just a singer and guitar player.
Just a singer and a guitar player, please.
Yeah.
You also play stand-up bass.
Yeah. He's the future.
He is the future. So, just so you know, this is Greg Gaiman's son. He is a perennial favorite in this area. And so we're looking at second generation there, right?
Nice.
And I am so glad to have that here.
Good dude.
He's all right.
Delete that.
That's real.
Oh, my bad.
We're all riding on his coattails this morning. Hi, my name's Lee Troncalli. I slap at a bass, and I sing
slap at a bass
sometimes.
very, very well.
Slap at a bass, and this is a gas. I just started in the Denison music scene at the beginning of this summer.
Yeah, that's about right.
Did my very first open mic ever at Kickbacks on that Wednesday night in
I remember that.
mid-June. Yeah. So this is all really new to me, and I'm just having a great time. It's so nice meeting all these talented people and just being able to make music with you guys and you guys putting up with me and all that bullshit.
Putting up with you, please.
Anyway, that's me.
Well, first of all, am I the only Okie here?
I think so.
Oh, Lord.
No, wait a minute. No, you're not. Sawyer is
Are you a
from...
crossover, though?
Yeah, I'm from Colbert.
Okay.
But I was born in Denison.
Okay, so I played at 1880. I played at Red
maybe your
Rock.
name would be good.
My name is Talina Rudd. I'm from Love County, bringing the love from the OK State, Oklahoma. I love Denison. It brings so many things to musicians, jobs, fun, people that love the music industry. And that's kind of what Christmas is about, is family and love. And I love my Texas family. I appreciate it. And Denison's amazing. And you said Weatherford and all them, they have a lot of great gigs for people, and they do a lot of good things for musicians. And I appreciate it, guys, and Merry Christmas. So.
Yeah.
My name's Kathleen Presley, and I just love to sing.
Kathleen is a perennial favorite among all of the open mics in the area. If there's an open mic, 9 times out of 10, she'll be there. So she's a really great supporter for our arts. She loves to sing. So we get to see her up on stage sometimes, too. It's really kind of cool. You're up, dude.
All right, my name's Jeremy Hopkins. That's my stage name.
Okay.
The real name's McGurk, but nobody can say it.
That's true.
I believe I think of myself as an actor who sings and is getting into music now. So I've been performing a long time. But
You have.
just in the there's nothing like live music.
Yeah.
And It's just a whole, just welcoming community that I've found of creative, awesome people that support each other, and we get together and jam, and troubles go away for a minute.
For a minute, you were
Rockstar
in
dreams.
something recently at
I
the
was in the Full
community.
Monty in Sherman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a musical.
Yeah.
There were musical numbers, and you were singing for that
Modern
too,
rock
right?
musical, yeah.
Yeah?
My first big musical part in about 20 years. So
Oh wow!
just getting
20
back
years?
into it. But that's what made me, that part was on my bucket list, so it made me get in the garage and sing for 3-4 hours every night
Right.
for the last year.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's starting to pay off.
Yes, starting to. All of y'all are just absolutely great musicians, and I love listening to each and every one of you every time I hear y'all.
Well, we enjoy listening to you. I know that for
Well,
a fact.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful harmonies, everything. You got
That's
it.
right.
I appreciate
Got
that.
it both, girl.
So, with that, I'm going to ask Talina to start off with. She has a mashup of Christmas songs that we're going to go ahead and start with.
Y'all ready? to go?
Follow on
Ready
as
to
you
go?
can.
Oh,
Please,
pretty
everybody
cool.
sing.
The drum is in E.
Beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. On a way in the bird, here to stay is a bluebird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. Don't worry. Be happy. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Riding down Santa Claus Lane. Blitzen and Dixon and all his reindeer pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So grab your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here we go. Don't worry. Be happy. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents under the tree. Christmas Eve will find me with a love I I'll be home for Christmas, if only in clouds or You just kind of mash it up. Me and my mom and my brother used to do like a 3-part harmony thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, that sounds cool.
You just know different ones and you just mix it up in.
Is that something you did as a kid?
Yeah.
You've been singing things like that for.
I started singing when I was 3.
Oh my gosh.
A real
I think
Chris-
I
a
waited
real-
until I was 5.
A real Christmas memory.
It is a real Christmas memory. I mean,
That's nice.
so what kind of things did?
Makes me feel all warm and runny.
Oh, Lee, I love you. You're just killing me.
It's true though. I'm not being facetious.
Of course not.
I'm being honest. This is just It makes me feel good, and I think that's the beauty thing about music is that you use simple tones. You're vibrating the air at a specific frequency, and it triggers brain chemistry changes in large groups of people
It
all at
does.
once.
It's emotion.
It's amazing. It continuously blows me completely out of the water how simple and how complex it is simultaneously.
There are
It's
studies
happening.
that show exactly that it changes your brain chemistry when you hear certain tones or even certain songs, right? So
If I speed up, if I go from 120 beats per minute to 144 beats per minute, I'll increase your heart rate.
absolutely, you certainly will.
Can you feel the power?
It is powerful, isn't it? I mean, and being able to make that, being able to make that kind of music, being able to make that kind of sound is heady. And I don't mean that in that, I can hit those things in my head voice. I mean, it's amazing to me. Now, I've been singing for a long time, and it's really cool for me to, one of my favorite things to do, unfortunately, is the first time somebody hears me sing is watch a jaw hit the floor, right?
It's fun to impress
It
people.
is fun to impress people, but it's also fun to know that you have had that kind of effect on people, right? Or when you see
It's
that,
healing and it's
or when you see that
spiritual.
rapid swivel head, oh my God, what did I just hear, kind of thing, especially with mashups like that, right? Like we do Amazing Grace to House of the Rising Sun. And just seeing people's head swivel around on that is really pretty interesting. So I didn't grow up singing that kind of stuff, but
Since we've got an open forum here, I got a question.
Yeah.
Everybody who plays, everybody who's gotten to a certain point in their playing, I mean, you start out and then there's all the technical things you have to learn, where the notes are, where the chords are, how the fretboard's arranged, things like that. But at some point, do you feel like you crossed over a threshold and you just became, you don't have to pay attention to the technical side of it so much anymore. It just kind of starts flowing out of you. And it happened to me about 2 years ago, and it amazed the living hell out of me.
Right.
Yeah?
And I know Sawyer, he's the youngest one here, but his playing is at a level that I know he's crossed that threshold at some point in the past too.
I can talk about that. I actually have, I know exactly what you mean. When I first picked up, bar chords and I could,
You can get a sound out of it.
I could
You can play an
move all
AC/DC
over the
tune,
place.
yeah.
I was like, wow, no, I really was. And I was probably 16 or something, 17.
It's a dopamine hit.
Doesn't mean I'm proficient guitar player, but I know exactly what you mean.
But you've gotten to a point where you can effectively communicate with, because music's a language,
yes, it is.
just like any other language.
That's right.
You have 12 notes to your alphabet is 12 tones in Western music. So, and once you learn to speak and write and communicate with that language,
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's-
It's
I
just
think it's a
awesome.
little different for singers.
Yeah, we don't usually get to play much.
Well,
I don't.
I'm
as a-
more of a singer, entertainer, but I do acoustic music all the time. But I sang with Naomi Judd, I opened for John Conley. So I got that, but I didn't play. My dad and my brother and them played. So
Yeah, see, I don't play.
I played
But
in
for
the
a
later
singer,
years.
your voice
Yeah.
is as valid an instrument as,
right.
as any.
That's,
as any
that's what I was
guitar or
getting
violin.
ready to say.
Well,
you
it
know.
is, but you guys get the benefit of being able to do chords.
I get
Yeah.
to hide behind my guitar too.
Yeah.
And there's that too, but you got the benefit of doing chords.
What
Those
I've
of us
loved-
who sing don't.
What I've loved lately about vocals is just when that becomes automatic and you're just kind of sitting in it, you have so much more freedom. Like, you can't just go riff off on something and
Right.
expect the whole band to stay together.
Right.
Whereas a vocalist, once you start sitting down in that, you're just like, and just go.
Right. That's
You
what I'm
bring
getting
it
at
back.
too,
So
right.
I don't want to give up that freedom, but also I need to get a little better on the feel.
Well,
Well, I know
get
for
that.
myself.
I get that.
For myself, my voice is something I've always kind of had, one, and everybody would tell me I have a great voice. You have such a great voice, And in reality, my voice doesn't sound anything like it sounded 10 years ago. And it doesn't sound anything like it sounded when I was in my 20s,
It never
And
will.
It's right. It's a constant progression. Your
Yeah.
voices also with you're playing and everything else. It's a continual progression where you're just kind of flat or however. But that's something I've learned with my voice. You know, because I always felt, I guess, even though everyone would tell me I had a good voice, I always kind of felt I wasn't, you know, I didn't really like it, which is another thing that we can get critical of ourselves. You know, that's not a great thing.
Musicians
Everyone's
get
a
very
critic.
critical of
Right.
themselves.
Right.
Well, it's a balancing
Big
act.
time.
It's
It
a
is.
balancing act.
Right, and
too,
I think that's what
between-
you were saying, right? It's kind of like you have to have pride in yourself of what you're doing, but not an arrogance.
Right,
You know,
right.
right. No one wants an arrogant rock
Well,
star.
when
We've seen all
they
those.
talk about the sin of pride, that's
Right.
what they're talking about, arrogance.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I'm proud of my son. I'm proud of my kids
You
for
ought
what
to
they've
be.
done. That kind of pride is
Right.
not an arrogant pride.
Right, and that's
No,
a
it's
good
not.
pride, though.
That's a
That's
great
good
right.
pride. So
And-
people get that convoluted sometimes.
Right.
People get
They
it mixed
do,
up.
and I've actually been called a diva. At
I've
one
called
point.
you a diva, I think. Hey, if the shoe
That's a
fits.
compliment on different levels.
I don't know.
think.
I mean, because
Well,
I,
diva's a title.
I
that's
feel
earned.
you on that. Like singers,
Yeah.
they think we're like there's either ego or there's
Yeah.
ego or there's diva.
yeah.
And technically, you're not trying to do that. You want to speak to those people. You want them to feel
do.
you through your music. You're
Yeah.
not trying. You're trying to give your gift in a way that they need to understand that. It's not. It's not
Sometimes you
being.
feel like they're
It's
not
not having an
understanding it.
ego. That people that say that have a problem. Sorry, they do.
And I'm totally, I'm with you on that, but it
They
also
do.
makes me check myself and make sure that I'm
yeah.
actually
Well,
not being.
in-
Well, I
Insecure-
mean,
I think insecure-
sometimes you're not
insecurity.
though, and they're insecure because. But if you have to be the front man,
You
there's
kinda
a
have to be-
difference.
You have to be the one
the
with
front
voice.
man is way different.
I think your insecurity can drive you to greater perfection in your craft. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
it can.
But don't be,
Can.
but you know, like don't be so down on yourself that you don't perform and don't.
But
play.
everyone's different. Everybody brings something different, and,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you know what God gave you as a gift, He may not give me as a gift.
Right.
What He gave, I mean, there's so many types of music, and it's amazing that people do that because, like, it brings a different thing to the table, and everybody brings something different.
Right.
Whether it be harmonies, some people can't sing lead; they can only do harmonies.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people can't sing harmonies; they can only sing lead. You know,
That's
so
that's
it's just like a
that's me.
guitar. Some people can play jazz octaves, and then some people are like 3 chord and the truth,
Right. Yeah.
3 chords and the truth. You know,
Singing brings its own set of difficulties too, because what you hear in your head when you sing is different from what the microphone hears.
Yeah.
Because just
Well,
the
yeah.
medium that the sound is traveling through. This is air, but when it's going from your vocal cords to your ears,
Yeah.
it's traveling through bone
Right.
and muscle and what.
That's why you always sound different when you record yourself.
And a lot of people initially when they hear themselves recorded for the first time are like,
Recoil.
what
right?
the hell?
Yeah.
I hate to
Do I
listen.
really sound like that?
Yeah, I hate to listen to dry recordings of myself. Okay, I'm a good singer. Right, there's no getting around that. But listening to a dry recording of myself is torture. I absolutely hate it.
Well, your expectations are higher than anybody else's.
Right. That's why I
Yeah,
said
that's
we're
true.
our own worst critics.
We're our own worst
always.
critics,
Yeah.
and we're our own. Yeah.
I like to sing because I feel like it touches people's hearts.
Yeah,
It changes them, and I've seen it happen.
I think that's the reason that most of us do what we do, right?
That's why I enjoy acting. And
Yeah.
touching
Same thing.
someone,
It's the
connecting
same
to
thing,
someone
yeah.
emotionally, or putting something out there that,
Yeah. No,
That's
see,
art.
that makes
That's
sense.
art in general.
yeah.
It
You know,
is.
and it's not understood by. I think that feeling we're all talking about is not understood by people that
Don't do it.
don't feel it or
Right.
it doesn't affect them.
Well, they
And
maybe
that's kind
connect
of-
in different ways.
Right,
Like, my
exactly.
husband's an artist.
Oh yeah,
Right? He
Ooh,
pen,
exactly.
paper,
see
That's
that?
what I'm
paint,
getting at.
things like
yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
it's
There's
not
always-
my gift.
Right.
It's his gift.
Yep.
And so he connects with,
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
People have
It's the
different
same-
gifts.
it's the same
People bring
connection,
different
right.
things to the table.
All right, so quick question. How
People
many
will
of
always
you,
remember how you made them feel.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is true.
How many of you got a musical instrument as a Christmas gift when you were a kid?
I got a Kiss album for Valentine's Day.
True story.
I worked for mine.
21, okay.
Yeah, I worked for mine.
You did?
Yeah, I had to pay for my own.
My first guitar was a no-name
probably about 13.
Yeah?
Oh, nice. That
When you were
explains it all,
13?
Shannon. That explains your talent. Thank you for letting us know.
Well, this was at 21, my
Right.
mom and stepfather gave me this.
I think I got
That's a
some
lovely
thrift
piece.
store bongos one year.
What about you, Sawyer?
I got my first acoustic guitar for my birthday,
Right?
and then that Christmas I got an electric guitar.
For
So
oh
that's
wow.
pretty-
Okay, so cool.
Yeah.
How old were you?
But I think 13.
That seems to be about
But
the
I
right
had
age, I
played
guess.
my dad's guitars before that. But
Yeah.
Whenever I got my own, I was like, okay, now I actually have to do it.
Little responsibility. Yeah.
But to Lee's point, though, about Sawyer's musicianship, I bet he's played 100 gigs this year. You know what I mean? So
You're,
he
you're
worked-
getting to
yeah.
be as prolific as your dad.
It is a gift, but he work.
It is
Yeah.
work.
I think that's
Yeah,
what
get
we
out
have in
there, yeah.
common.
Right.
It's work on it, work
Hey,
on
get
it.
paid.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, like, are you tired of like always hearing about your dad?
Yeah.
Well,
Little
in a
bit.
certain-
You know what I'm saying?
it's
He does.
kinda-
He's got a very different
It's like a
sound.
shtick to be like I'm annoyed by it, you know.
Right.
But really, I wouldn't have anything, if all, to do with music if it wasn't for him. So it's a joke, but at the same time, every once in a while, I'm like, all right, let's move on.
Yeah.
See,
You have a very different sound than your dad.
Yeah. That's
And
why it
that's-
doesn't really bother me because we don't. We maybe do a couple, like 3 or 4 of the same songs.
Right.
So it's like.
You sound like you were influenced as much by Fred as you were by anybody else,
Yeah.
because you have a really bluegrass sound to the way your music is, the way you play.
I've known Fred the same amount I've known my dad. Same amount of times.
Oh, wow, yeah. We're talking about Fred Spears, by the way, in case any of you guys don't know. Fred Spears is a longtime musician from this area who's traveled back and forth to Nashville on many occasions, and he has a mandolin. He plays at a local church on a regular basis, and they've asked me to come in and sing them a couple of times, and so I get to listen to him play mandolin almost exclusively on those things, and it's really pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's really, really a great thing. So guitars, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bass, right? And then I know, right? And then there's the 3 of us who don't play anything sitting over here,
I
right?
play, just not well.
What do you play?
I play a little guitar and tickle
little
the
bit.
keys a little
Do
bit.
you really? See, now how many do you play?
6.
6.
6
But
instruments?
see, yeah, I play drums, guitar, piano, electronic saxophone, harmonica, and mandolin. And I'm learning the pedal steel
Are you really? Okay, we gotta talk
and the
later, 'cause
fiddle.
love
I want the
steel
fiddle
guitar.
too.
I play the bass and I sing. I play the kazoo. I got a slide whistle last
You got a
night for
slide
Christmas,
whistle?
so I'm going to
Yes.
incorporate that into my repertoire. Multi
just waiting for that one.
multi instrumentalist covers a whole range of things. you
It
know.
really does.
I got one of those vibra slaps that you hear like at the beginning of Crazy Train. That,
Oh
I
yeah.
got one of those.
Okay.
I use it to run the cat out of the bedroom when I'm ready to go to sleep.
Nice.
It's like kicking the thing behind the doorstop.
Oh, the doorstop, the little wire, the little.
Well, I think anybody who gets into music, because I play a little drums. I play.
Yeah.
I can hold. I can't hold my own, but I can play a couple of songs on the 6 string. But that too close together and too many strings, it confuses my fingers. But I think we all, we have one thing that we want to specialize in. But any one of us could keep a basic beat on a desktop during while other people
Tiny
are
desk,
singing.
tiny
Yeah.
desk concert.
Yeah.
How many
So-
do you play, Sawyer? You play at least 2 that I know of.
I don't know. I know like piano, and I know all the notes and stuff. And I think once you know piano, you can kind of. And if you know piano, you know how the song sounds. You can figure it out on anything.
Yep.
yeah.
Like
No, that is so not the case. I do not play guitar.
Like tabs are harder, to me. Now I've had electric guitarists tell me, and I'm an acoustic guitarist, by the way. But I can play electric and lead when somebody else is playing. But it's different with tabs than it is with chords. So like you
It
could,
is, yeah. it is.
yeah, way different. Like tabs, you have to know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you know the 12 notes, everything, you still have to know what you're looking at. Even if you know the number system, you still have to know what you're looking at with the tab.
The Nashville
Yeah.
number system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
My
there's
dad knows that.
there's about a handful of different ways of recording and documenting and interpreting music on the page.
Yes.
There's
Right.
tabs, there's chords, there's regular, all them little dots and the staffs and the funny little curly cues and all that stuff that just confuses my brain. What the hell is a rest?
Confuses your brain? Oh my gosh.
I'm a
really?
simple person, you know.
And looking at
145.
tabs
That's my Nashville numbers.
confuses the heck out of me.
145.
Yeah, most of the time.
I know. It just
I did that
Well,
for a while, and then
tablature is a
somebody
little
told me to
bit
get out of my
easier.
box. So I was
Tablature's
like,
a
okay.
little bit easier than reading music.
oh, absolutely.
You have to
Right.
Is it
control
really?
your voice.
Oh, it is.
Because I read music,
It is,
and
right.
so I'm like,
It's
Well,
easier.
well, tablatures depend.
Tablature's easier than reading music.
The basic staff
No,
music
that's
with the
what it's
treble
great.
clef and the bass clef and all
Right.
that we've gone
I've
to
never
as
heard that.
music is you can a person who can cold read that can interpret a piece of music and play it how it's supposed to sound with
Right.
the right meter
well,
and with
they
the
can
right
play it the
instrument.
way it's dictated on the page.
Yes, and that's
Tabs-
the thing I don't do. Like
tabs
I don't
and things like
play
that.
music as another artist plays it.
Yeah.
I play music as I play it or as we play it
There you go.
as a band. And for me, that's not flattery anymore. That's creating something else.
It's just your style.
Right.
It's
well,
your- it's your- yeah.
yeah.
It's
But
original.
what I'm saying
Yeah.
is most musicians do this.
That's like
have
listening to Jonathan
their own
playing.
versions.
Back to black.
Thank you. Back to
Right.
Black. That is.
That's a primary example.
I listened to
of-
that
right.
song. I went because I actually didn't know it, and Tim told me what it was, and I'm going, oh, okay. So now I've got to go listen to the
The Amy
original,
Winehouse version,
the Amy
yeah.
Winehouse. I'm
Yeah.
going,
Great album.
that is so not the
I love
same
Amy
song
Winehouse.
It's
that
incredible
I
how
hear
he does it.
Jonathan doing as
That's a prime
as she
example.
does, right?
That's a prime example.
Yeah. So those of us who read music are more accustomed to doing things the way we see it on the page.
Right.
Right. As opposed to the freedom that, yeah,
I
the
play
freedom,
by ear.
yeah, or the freedom that playing by ear, or reading
I can read them, but
chords or tabs or what have you. So, do you read music, Sawyer?
I could read you about the first 4 bars, and then I'll be like,
Pretty well lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. You.
I have a
Yeah, I took music theory in high school, so
Oh,
I can
okay.
read music. It takes me a while to get to know tabs, but I can if I listen.
Can figure it
for a
out.
while on tabs,
Yeah.
I can figure it out. But I mostly play by ear.
Yeah. Well, you too.
sweet.
I was taught by my father and my brother basically, and I've been playing since I was like
Yeah.
I can remember, and so I've just kept learning. You know, I just kept learning from this person, that person, next playing in bands, playing it. You know, I don't read music. I can read tablature. And I know chords. But I've never taken a formal lesson from anyone. Now, you asked about guitars for Christmas, and I had to think for a little bit. But my brother actually, and I don't know if it was for Christmas or not, but it was like my first guitar that I can think that I owned, because I could play my dad's instrument only if I was able to play a couple chords first, right? Like
Right.
he wanted me to learn in a certain way, and I'm grateful that he taught me on acoustic, because it relates so much better to electric,
Right.
which is what I wanted to play when I was young, right?
Don't
And-
they all? I mean,
Well, I think acoustics are
So-
a lot more honest. I mean,
Yeah, they
do
are.
you-
So my brother got me a Eddie Van Halen, right guitar,
Nice.
and it was
The
his.
Kramer?
You know, yeah, it was nice and everything, but I think that was my first guitar. I think that I can remember owning, and I was probably 11, maybe younger. I don't know. I can't remember exactly because I don't remember all those ins and outs of my childhood. But I just always was singing in church. That was like the first place, you know. I was like always singing in church, and everybody was like, "Little Danny's so loud," you know. Anyway,
Wow, that's a good
Right.
first step.
It's gonna be a deep cut non sequitur, but when you were showing us how tall you were, it reminded me of Jeff Peterson from Craig Ferguson's show. Hey, you know what I'm talking about? This robot sidekick. Anybody?
no, afraid not.
Okay.
I quit paying attention to popular culture when my first kid was born. That was 31 years ago.
Sorry.
So.
Oh my gosh, really?
Sopranos,
My
I think
oldest
it's-
is 30,
wow.
so I get it. 30 years old. Oh gosh, I feel old now.
It's crazy. My youngest just turned 18.
25,
I'm no longer
really?
the father of any minors.
it's a great feeling.
Yes, it is. It's really great when that happens. Oh my gosh, I am no longer the parent of minors either. I was like absolutely thrilled when I know, right?
The cops aren't going to call your parents. You get to call a lawyer.
You get to call a lawyer. For me, it was, I don't have minors anymore. Now I can do what I want, right?
Now
So-
you don't get rent.
And yes, see, there's that too.
This is my house.
I've been singing my whole life, right? My mother recognized that I sounded good, shoved me in church choir from before right around kindergarten, and, you know, off we went from there, right? And then. And then. But I've always sang with other people. I was never an individual performer. Was just a quirk, right? Because everybody says, "Oh, you have such a great voice," and I'm going, "Yeah, but have you heard some of the people I've heard?" Some people who have just absolutely. I'm a mezzo soprano. I don't make that really high, bright sound, and I've met some sopranos that just will blow you away.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just from singing in college, right? But it took me until it was about 4 years ago that I started doing this individual performer thing. Now, yeah, I'd sung in, I do medieval recreation also, and I had sung for that. But, which is really kind of a blast.
Right.
Oh, no, it's a blast. Because I'm an a cappella singer too, right? So I don't have to have an instrument hanging around for that one. It's like, this is great, right? But it's only been 4 years since I started doing this kind of thing, right?
Playing out.
And it's pretty amazing how quickly you can find that family that's here, right? There was just no way to do that when I was younger because there was no Facebook. There were bulletin boards if you knew how to get to them and what telephone number to call to get to those things. But you know, I didn't have the time, and so I kind of get that. But I remember, and this is where we're going to start talking about memories of what you remember music-wise.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying about like the brightness and
The high bright sound.
yeah, high bright and the training and being intimidated by other people's voices or thinking of, but man, most of my favorite artists don't have the best voice, you know,
Yeah.
and life has taught them a lot. Life and heartache have taught them a lot more than any
the
college
words.
program.
Yeah.
is ever gonna.
That's true.
And first time I went to Vegas, I was with my dad, street performer on the corner, had 6 different saxophones, and he was technically perfect. He
Wow.
was picking them up, and my dad's like, "Man, he's good." I said, "Dad, he's got no soul.
Yeah.
He's got no soul." And he said that changed the way he looked at music for the rest of his life. Just that one thing. I don't need you to be technically perfect. It's nice, but I want
That's
to
good
know.
because you ain't gonna get it.
I know
Yeah,
you ain't gonna get it.
It's about love and life. It's not
But
perfect.
yeah,
Life
it's
ain't perfect.
But I think my gift right now is to get up there and kind of disappear and just bleed into that moment. And that's what I'm trying to learn to do.
Yeah.
Sit in your voice. It's a lot easier when I don't have to play anything.
You do it
By far,
well.
I feel that.
You and I have
By
played
far.
together a couple of times, and
Yeah, but
I dig on your voice. You got
You're
a
playing
lot
your
of soul.
voice. That's,
Yes.
you know, right.
And I've put a lot of work into it
Right.
over the last 50 years. So yeah. Yeah, 50 years. I've been singing for that long.
Amen.
People said,
What I remember most from when I was a kid, now I went to church at a big Methodist church on the SMU campus, and every year, and even to this day, they still do, they have a carol service. Usually it's Christmas Eve, but sometimes right before that. And I remember there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 choirs, 5 independent choirs, all singing together. We're talking a huge, huge sanctuary with at the time, one of the largest pipe organs in the United States in that sanctuary. So all the children's choirs were on the sides. The chancel choir was back here, and then up in the balcony with the other pipe organ was the college choirs off of the SMU campus. Stone floor, stone paving, stone walls. Can you imagine the way the sound reverberates off of all of the wood? And we're talking wood pipes that were ranged from this big to little teeny tiny metal pipes that were that big. 2 sets of them. 2 sets, because we had the one in the front. I know, right? And the one up in the balcony also. So can you imagine the way the sound reverberates that large T shape? All of it stone, all of the stone paving, and then all of the people.
Acoustics.
The acoustics of that were just spectacular, and started my love of music from there. Right. So, what are some of y'all's Christmas music-related memories?
Mine isn't so warm.
Okay, we're gonna try for nice ones.
Okay, well, no, it's 5 or 6 years old, and I already was a little performer. The big Christmas Eve gathering was over at my mom's house. Right. All the cousins and aunts and uncles. I used to stand on this little stool, and I would lead the Christmas songs. You think, well, this particular year, something had happened. I had like a melanin deposit at the end of my nose, and I had this red spot here. So what do you think?
Rudolph.
Yeah. And then, so I'm up there.
I'm sorry, honey.
Just gotten past it. No, I'm up there. We're rocking. We're singing. I get a little too active and fall right off the stool.
Oh no!
Ran back to my room. Everybody's laughing and each other. Then finally they come back there and comfort me a little bit, and then Mom calls me Rudolph again.
Aww.
I'm still
That's
angry
something
to
else.
this day. I'm still, no.
Slapstick
No, I'm
is
not.
never not
Hold
funny.
on to that. It looked like the old banana peel too. It just,
I mean, you brought him joy for a minute.
I did. At my expense, but I live to serve.
Yeah.
You live to serve. Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah, I
you just
feel
bring
that way
people joy and you just gotta just roll with it. Like the chocolate on my pants that
On
one
your
time.
pants, I know, right? Kathleen, you were telling me
terrible.
that you used to sing with your family.
Yeah, we grew up singing. We didn't have a TV. So everybody sang, and most all of them played musical instruments except for me. My mom played the piano, and then we would gather around and sing. And we always had a Bible reading, and we had a singing every single night that I can even remember. And so everybody sang. It was just the thing. And then when we went to church, of course, we sang. And I was one of the ones that they would always say, "You're singing so loud." So I always sang, and I'd walk down the street and sing. And everywhere I went, I sang. And then finally, I realized that God wanted me to sing. And if you'd have told me that I was ever going to sing in a bar, I would have told you were crazy. But when I first started singing karaoke music and then started meeting the musicians, you couldn't keep me out of them, and you still can't.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't drink or smoke or take drugs or anything, but I love to sing, and I have loved to meet all the musicians. I was telling her, I wish I knew of more musicians in Oklahoma, because I have a lot of family in Oklahoma, and now I meet this Oklahoma lady.
There you go.
Of course.
Isn't that cool?
Why do you think I invited
I can
her?
help
That's
you
how
with
God
that.
does.
I don't mind at all.
What are your memories of Christmas music?
My memories of Christmas music. Well, I had 2 sides of my family because my mom and dad split when I was 2. So I had a stepmother and a stepfather at 4 years old, which I'm very blessed. There was more Christmas present. No, that's rude. Sorry. Let me start over. First it started with food, okay? Lots and lots of food.
Doesn't it always?
Okay, and we gathered around, we ate, we took naps, and then it was the Christmas carols. It was on both sides of the family. My stepmother played the piano, my dad played guitar, my brother played guitar, my little brother played the drums. My little sister wasn't born yet, but she's like kind of Kobe Colette very, very beautiful voice. She's got an album coming out too, so
Oh,
she's. But my dad's played with Larry Carlton. He's one of a jazz player, and he's really good. But so on my dad's side we sang carols, and on my mom's side we sang carols. But there was 3-part harmony on both sides.
Nice.
But I didn't play the guitar. My mom played the guitar, and I played these little jingle bell things.
I think they're called jingle bells.
I think they are.
And then the egg. I had an
The
egg
egg.
too. Yeah, so my brother had the bongos. I had that. And then we did that little remix Christmas thing. And then we ate again and and again and again.
And again and again. Yeah, I know.
You know, it's like Southern comfort. You know, Southern comforts, good food, Christmas carols, and family. And
Yes.
we had a good time.
I'm totally with you on that one.
I don't have very many Christmas music memories. I grew up in I don't want to say a non-musical household, but it was just my brother and my mom and myself, and nobody played anything. There weren't any, the only thing we played was the radio or, or
okay.
the stereo. My grandmother turned me on to Elvis.
That's not a bad thing.
She had one of those big cabinet stereos. It's about as long as a Cadillac, and it's got the big speaker grills and the big top that you lift up, and it's heavy wood, and there's a turntable there, and all these buttons on the side. And it's, fun stuff. But I didn't get into music until I was 18,
Oh, wow.
and my
Okay.
brother was 16, and we started a band.
Ooh.
With absolutely no knowledge of what it meant to start a
a band.
and with a very minimal music knowledge,
Right.
And it's just grown from there, and that's really it. My musical life started when it was from 18 to like 24, and then I quit and I stayed out of the music industry completely for the next 25 years. Because I became disenchanted with it. It's a very long story about getting ripped off and cheap hotels and bed bugs and various
Ooh,
social
no.
diseases.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, it was ugly.
no.
Being a bar band in Southern Alabama in the 70s was ugly. So. But I just recently got back into it in 2006 as far as like woodshedding and playing and getting better, and I've just come out to this community, like I said, this summer,
I know.
and we're going to see how it all works out.
Although I met you
We met
4 years ago.
Yeah, that Craigslist, and I answered your Craigslist ad, and we met and we exchanged song lists, and we went to
And we kind of just,
Don.
yeah.
Who was it?
Dominic.
Dominic. We went to Dominic's house.
Let's
and-
don't
and-
discuss that.
Whew, that's a whole story there.
I'll tell you that story later.
We'll tell you that story later when wow. Okay.
But I still talk to Joe.
Great drummer.
Just so you know.
Great drummer. Dominic's awesome drummer. But anyway, so I've been trying to get back into it, but I'm still a little leery and wary of the music industry as a way to make a living, because it's been tough. COVID.
Yeah,
Really
COVID killed
hit.
a lot of stuff.
COVID killed a lot of stuff, especially gatherings of people. And this kind of music, the kind of music we like to make, is dependent on people leaving their homes and coming to a public place and ears on and tipping waitresses and buying food and buying drinks and all that stuff. And COVID just killed that. I mean, it's going to be a little while recovering if we ever do. I hope we do. I really hope we
have a new
do.
normal, I think.
Live music is the thing right now.
Now, do you guys
It's even bigger
play
now.
for a living?
No, we don't play
No.
for a living.
I do.
I'm a professional musician, but I don't
Yeah.
play for a living because
To be
I do.
I
pro,
wouldn't be
you only
living
have to
so
get paid
great at the
once.
moment. That's
And you
all.
can make good
Right.
money at it.
Oh, of course.
You can if you,
I'm
yes.
just saying at the
I've worked
moment I'm
plant
not.
jobs my whole
Right.
life.
At the moment
and,
I'm not.
Yeah,
And that's okay.
I
But-
make more money doing music.
Well, there's that insecurity thing too. Am I good enough to make a living making music?
Oh, I know that. That's not a, right.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can do that.
I've been paid to play music.
I was
for
scared for a long
but,
time.
You know, yeah.
Sawyer, I see you nodding off over there.
Oh, no,
It's interesting to listen to, but it's a whole nother generation, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. For my Christmas, it's kind of like the 1 week my dad's off continuously.
That's true.
So we really like after Christmas, my cousins and my brother, we kind of mess around like a little bit in the shed or whatever. But like he said, my mom plays Elvis Christmas, and that's really about it. on Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
Does your mom sing?
No, my mom. She just likes it. That's her. That's her really.
She don't
only-
play
That's her
or
thing?
sing at all?
I think she played fiddle when she took fiddle lessons when she was little.
Oh, cool.
But I've never heard her play. So
Really?
I don't know how that would go.
Should check that out. I would.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to check that out.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, what's interesting is that for such a young person, the older music still
It still
holds
resonates,
still holds
doesn't
an
it?
appeal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good music is timeless. What were we playing earlier when we first walked in? We were playing that Merle Haggard song.
Right.
Hank Williams,
Hank Williams, yeah.
Williams.
So Lonesome
Hank
I Can
Williams or
Cry.
Hank Williams Jr.?
senior.
Senior,
original
see?
Hank, the original
and
Hank.
see, that's the thing. Music of that time, oh my gosh, that's my favorite. That's what I any country music beyond the 90s probably
No,
really
not a big-
doesn't bear
Okie from
talking about.
Muskogee.
Not a big fan of bro country, are you?
You get that?
Not a big fan of
The
bro
voice,
country.
Okie from Muskogee.
Right? And, you know, pop classics from the 90s and before. I love Bonnie Raitt. It's one of my
Yes.
favorites, you know, things like that.
Bluesy.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
more
well,
towards the blues.
I like the
Janis
bluesy song.
Joplin.
Yeah, see,
same.
and I like listening to Janis Joplin because there's no
Melissa
way I can
Etheridge,
sing that.
Janis
stuff.
Joplin. That's
Yeah.
Well, that's your wheelhouse.
yeah, that's my wheelhouse.
Christmas for us was going to church, and everything. I don't have a whole lot of memories of Christmas. It wasn't, in my head I have different memories of it, but like we didn't have for a while we didn't have a Christmas tree because it's like against Christmas, Yeah, they used to dance around them. Dark Ages, so like that was a thing, like we weren't. But anyway, and we didn't have television either for a long, long time. But anyhow, me and my brother were in our first band together though when I was probably maybe 7 years old, and we lip synced to "Eye of the Tiger." And we were the
Oh, nice.
Spiders. Yeah, we were
love
the
it.
Spiders, and we played brooms, but. I mean, we were really good. Like we were the best spiders you've ever seen.
Yes.
I do remember that, and that was always fun. But my brother was like that. He would continuously do fun things with me, especially, and growing up. So if I have my musical influences are my dad and my brother, though. My dad kind of said, look, here's what you're going to do. There's these 3 chords, and you're going to learn them, and if you don't learn them, you'll never play a guitar. And I'm like, what does that mean, I was like, what does that mean? I don't have a guitar. I can use couldn't use the one, but I could use the other one that was harder to play.
Nice.
My
All right.
father actually knew what he was doing a little bit, and because I wanted to play as Martin all the time, but I thought, well, why won't this guy just let me play as Martin? I realized he was teaching me something, and what that is that if you play a guitar that the action is terrible on,
Right.
and you learn on that, you know where you can go with it,
Shot.
anywhere, because that was the thing too. I was like, I want an electric guitar. Why
Yeah.
can't I have an electric guitar? Of course, we weren't allowed to have rock and roll music, but so we played. Anyhow, music was always around, but I have to thank my brother, over and over again, and that's because when he came home from the military, he was jamming in bands and stuff all over Germany and whatnot, and so when he would come home, then I could play it on electric guitar, and like I said, he gave me one,
yeah.
probably when I was 11 or so. So, but music for me, it makes other people have emotions. Bottom
I
line,
agree with
like, it doesn't matter what you're playing, and it doesn't matter if it's it may be I can't stand listening to this guy emotion,
Anger
But
is an emotion.
right?
yeah.
Absolutely. And music elicits
Disgust is an emotion.
music elicits emotions. If it's music, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So, but both my brother and my father are gone now. So.
So there's that wistfulness in some of the music.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just grateful that they started me because I was kind of like I was all over the place, and things. So But singing in church is my first memory of singing, and that was, while I was in the womb, probably. So anyway.
You wonder how much of an influence that has.
I
When
believe it does.
Once you get into like the third trimester and the
Mm-hmm.
brain development's going on and everything, if you're exposed to those
Right.
vibrations,
I believe so. Yeah.
do they
They've
trigger
done
the same
studies.
sort of
Yeah.
Yes, they
hormone?
do.
Mhm.
They've done
Absolutely.
studies about things like that, and
That's
I can
interesting.
tell you on the receiving end of it, because my mother sang in that chancel choir I was telling you about.
While she was pregnant with you.
Yeah, and I sang when I was pregnant with my kids.
Okay.
My daughter
Right.
can sing. She chooses not to because she doesn't like to perform, but she can. And music is a big part of her life. Not my music, but
First song
What
I
about
sang
you?
to my daughter was
Yeah?
your song from Elton John.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
That was the first day she was born.
What about you, Shannon?
Hey, man.
Well, I just remember my nanny, my grandmother. That's my nanny. She would wake up every morning, turn on the radio, and put music on. When it was about Christmas time, she'd always make candy. And I just remember my mom. She'd just sing all the time, all these Christmas carols, and we'd go to church and we'd sing, and it was just a good time every Christmas. So that's about my story.
Excellent.
I heard Elvis.
Yeah.
I heard Elvis.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know that. Yeah, at least.
Oh,
No, 3.
people used to call me Elvis in elementary school because I did the whole jig and the whole.
He was doing the move.
That was like in
Lee
elementary
knows-
you
school.
get that.
Lee knows Blue Christmas.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do something.
You want to do
Yeah,
Blue
around-
Christmas?
Yeah, sure, why not?
In B. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't be the same day if you're not here with me. And when those blue memories come calling, that's when those blue snowflakes start falling. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas of wine. But I had a blue, 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 blue Christmas. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas of wine. But I have a blue, 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 blue Christmas. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas of wine. Oh, mama, but I have a blue, 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 blue Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, Elvis loved his mama.